Hello friend, welcome to my video blog. It's Tea Time with Alex Gill, where we have casual conversations about big stuff. And we're gonna talk about me today. I wanna share a personal story, a story that is gonna make me feel vulnerable to you, but I really want you to see sometimes where I have come from. Not in terms of I came from Brazil, you know some of their story, but what was happening in the beginning of my contemplation stage when I was transitioned from being a personal trainer full-time. I was burnt out, I was stressed out, I was unhappy, and I want to find a new chapter. I wanted to write a new chapter in my life, and it was the time I was contemplating to be a coach. And this blog I'm sharing with you is because a blog I sent to you yesterday about, the name of the blog was There's Nothing Wrong With You. And if you open the title of the, I can't find right now, but if you open that newsletter I sent yesterday, you're gonna notice there is a huge grammar mistake. Instead of writing there is nothing wrong with you, the title is just There's Nothing Wrong With You. And it was cute because a good friend of mine texted me and let me know that it was missing. She said, maybe you did that on purpose. No, I did not do that on purpose. That was pure distraction. There was some fatigue. I had a pretty intense, good but intense session with my spiritual teacher, my coach, that depleted some of my energy, and I sent that email at the end of the day, blah, 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 no excuses. I know you know the feeling of being sometimes distracted or tired, and you make a mistake. And funny enough, I was coaching a client yesterday about forgiving herself for a mistake she made on her taxes 3 years ago that is still causing a lot of pain and energy leak in her life, and it's one of the reasons her business is blocked. She's not producing as a realtor the number of transactions. She's not having the income that she wants. And when she was telling me what was really causing this, I didn't buy it. So I tracked back and I found that what happened 3 years ago, a mistake, she still has a lot of pain around that. And I share some strategies. Long story short, I realized last night that I made a mistake, a huge grammar mistake when I sent the newsletter. And that's not a big deal. I know you understand, you forgive me. Please forgive me. But that took me back 7 years ago when I was talking to a friend that I was considering to become a coach. I was going to study holistic lifestyle coach at the CHEK Institute, and I was sharing with this particular friend that I was going to be a coach because I want to help people to change, to transform. And he said to me, I think it's a waste of time because people don't change. And that took me back. How many times have you shared something exciting with a friend or a family member that you want to do and they just discourage you? They just discourage you because they don't believe it. And he's a dear friend, and he tend to come with cynicism a lot of times, and skepticism, cynicism. But what came after that, I remember when I was just starting to write newsletters, the very beginning of my career. I didn't have the studio yet, but I think at that time I had a website. I was teaching stand-up paddleboard. I think I had a website called alefitness.com, and I was starting to write, and I wrote a blog, something about the importance of taking breaks in the middle of your day in order to re-energize yourself. And the word break, instead of typing break like taking a break, BREAK, I wrote break like the brake of your cars. And next day I get an email from the same friend telling me that if I was considering being a coach and I wanted to be taken seriously and build credibility, that I cannot have grammar mistakes like that. And I felt crushed. I felt so much shame at that moment. And you know what I did? I wrote an email back to my entire list apologizing for my mistake just because I misspelled the word break. And of course, that gave me other repercussions. I actually got more judged by writing that email apologizing because I felt so much shame than actually just owning the story like I'm doing here. Hey, I forgot to write there is, and I wrote there nothing. But what it did to me back in that day, it put so much shame on me. Shame of like, well, who am I to write newsletters in English when English is not even my first language? And of course, sometimes I question myself. I love public speaking. I want to pursue even more my career as a teacher, as a public speaker. And of course, there's self-doubt, there's fear that comes at times as like, who am I to think I can be a successful speaker as I still make mistakes? If you hear me talking in my videos or you came to one of my presentations, I guarantee you have found a mistake or a way that I say a sentence that is probably not grammatically correct. So the moral of this story that I'm sharing with you is that I took that so differently last night when my girlfriend said, there's a grammar mistake in your email and maybe you did by purpose. And I said, no, it was an accident. It was such a different feeling that I had yesterday compared to 7 years ago when I was just beginning and I was so insecure that time. And I'm not saying today that I'm not insecure, because I think as we keep pushing, as we keep growing, we always dealing with self-doubt, with fear and insecurities. And it's really about what we choose to respond, you see? Is what we choose to respond when we feel self-doubt, fear and insecurity. So I'm sharing this story with you because I am sure you also had those moments in your life that you made a mistake and you felt embarrassed. You said something in your presentation, you made a mistake and you beat yourself up for days. I'm here to ask you, to invite you, stop beating yourself up. How do you do that? Number one, own it. Hey, I made a mistake, guys. And second, let it go. Another funny story, this will make you laugh. A couple years ago, I gave a presentation at a local real estate agency called Gibbons & White. It's a commercial real estate firm. And I made a mistake. I thought the presentation was on Friday, but the presentation was actually on Thursday. So I'm working out just like this with my Lululemon tank top, my tights in the gym, in my studio. And I got a phone call, a message from my friend Angela who works there saying, hey, we're all here in the conference room waiting for you. And I'm like, oh shit, the presentation is right now. It's supposed to be at 12 o'clock and she texted me like at 12:10. Luckily, this place was a corner from my studio. And I ran there in my workout clothes, my spandex, my Lululemon tights, sweaty, no makeup. And I was there. There's like 12, 13 successful realtors, brokers in that room. And I had no choice but to walk there and own my story. I made a mistake, and of course it caused a laugh, and I recouped, got myself together and delivered a great presentation and got a client from that and made great connections as well. So you made a mistake. If you made a mistake yesterday or 3 years ago, it doesn't matter, and you're still tormented, you gotta own it, laugh about it and let go, because guess what? Everybody makes mistakes every day. Some small ones, some big ones. Just like I was coaching my client yesterday, and a big mistake she made around her taxes, about not tracking, not reporting everything. And 3 years later, she still carried this pain, kind of an imposter syndrome, because she is working towards her success, but she hasn't really worked on her tax for the last 3 years. And I gave her a program strategy like, you gotta tackle this and face the pain and forgive yourself and let go. Because how many of us have made mistakes on our taxes, or mistakes on how, in our relationships, in our business, how we handle our customers or clients. So let it go, own it, don't give excuses, own your story, and then change the narrative of that story with self-compassion and self-love. So that's why I want to share that story. So yes, please forgive me that I made a grammar mistake yesterday on my newsletter. And I can promise that mistakes won't happen again, because I'm sure they will. And I'll do my best to review next time. But I want to thank you for stopping and watching this video, hear my message. And if you like this content and you want some strategies to help you to move forward, to help you to break through fear, self-doubt, insecurities, because they will always be with you, especially as you push and grow. Schedule a free call with me, and I'd love to serve you, to help you to break through those emotions. Thank you so much. You have a great day. Mwah.